All right, morning everybody. Matt Lennox King, President and CEO of Contact Gold. All right, so we are Vancouver-based, Nevada-focused. We trade in Canada on the Venture Exchange, symbol C, in the US, OTCQB, on CGOLF. So diving in, we are focused in the great mining state of Nevada. As I'm sure most of you know, Nevada is one of the main gold producing areas in the world, one of the better jurisdictions to be working. We have two projects. The first is Pony Creek, so that's resource stage, where we have a 433,000 ounce initial resource on the Carlin trend. That has a lot of room to grow, and we'll be executing a resource expansion program later this year. We also have the Green Springs project, which is a high-grade oxide open pit project where we made 3 new gold discoveries last year, and we'll be drilling that starting Tuesday of next week. Looking at Green Springs, so this is a high-grade oxide at surface gold project. It was a small-scale producer in the late 1980s. We came in 2019 with a clear vision on how we're going to grow the gold system, make new discoveries, and we've been executing on that with a number of new discoveries, up to 55 meters of continuous gold mineralization from surface. That's at the Tango discovery. At the X-ray discovery, we have nearly 40 meters of continuous high-grade oxide from surface, and we've also made what we call the Mine Trend discovery, or the BC Gap discovery. Within the district, we're located 7 kilometers due east of Calibre Mining and their recently acquired Gold Rock and Pan projects. And we are hosted within the same rocks with a lot of geologic similarities between those gold systems. At Green Springs, there are really 2 key elements here. One is growth and one is discovery. When we look at the mine trend, which is that north-south corridor that you see there, we're looking at essentially 3 kilometers of near-surface oxidized gold mineralization. There's a lot of room to grow that to the south. And we also have the potential for stacked mineralized horizons or gold deposits, as evidenced by the BC Gap. When we move outside the mine trend, this is where we're looking at the discovery potential. So last year, we made those new discoveries at X-ray and Tango. We also have the large-scale and undrilled Whiskey and Foxtrot targets, and the earlier stage Golf Zone. So in each of those instances, we're looking at gold at surface that you can put your hand on, and the average depth of drilling that we're contemplating or have carried out at these discovery stage targets is 100 meters or less. Our topography, our access is very typical of Nevada. So wide open spaces, good network of roads. And as we move ourselves south, which is the bottom of the slide, to north, we come up the mine trend. We eventually come to the X-ray discovery and the Tango discovery, and that's where we'll start drilling on Tuesday. We're looking at a cross-section here through X-ray, very straightforward geology, essentially layer cake stratigraphy, and it's what we call the pilot shale there. That's our main gold host. You can see the open direction here is to our left, which is also to the west and also out of the slide. So this will be the focus of that step-out drilling starting on Tuesday. So the next steps here at Green Springs are really capitalizing on those discoveries, moving them along towards resource definition through increasing the size, the scale, and certainly looking to maintain those grades as well. We're also continually developing new targets here to deliver the next phase of discovery. We'll now come to Pony Creek, which is on the Carlin trend, so arguably the most famous gold producing area in Nevada. Here we have an extensive Carlin-type gold system, so gold system hosted in limestones and related rocks. In January of this year, we announced our initial resource estimate here, which is 433,000 pit-constrained ounces. It's near surface, the strip ratio is very low, and that's the result of 118 drill holes by Contact. Over 90% of those drill holes hit gold mineralization, telling us it's a very consistent, very widespread gold system. Our access here is also excellent. We're roughly 25 kilometers south of the mining center of Elko, and we are fully permitted for exploration under what's called a plan of operation. So we can drill anywhere we need to at Pony Creek. When we look at the district here, it is a very active district. Immediately to our north, we have Gold Standard Ventures, who are in the development phase with their South Railroad project. They recently released a feasibility study describing a 9-year mine life, robust cash flows, and sub $200 million capex. To the north of Gold Standard Ventures, we have Nevada Gold Mines, which is the joint venture between VRIC and Newmont, where they have the Rain mine and the Emigrant mine. So this is certainly a well-established district, and arguably Pony Creek really represents the growth potential here at the southern end of the district. Looking at the various resource areas at Pony Creek, in the south or the bottom of the slide, we have the Bull Zone at over 300,000 ounces. To the north, we have the Stallion Zone, approximately 60,000 ounces, wide open, very low strip. And then to the north, we have the undrilled Mustang target, which is nearly 2 kilometers of strike length or length, which would be the distance from here to the gates at Stanley Park. So widespread, extensive target, and ready to be drilled. Within that resource estimate, and that's what we're looking at here on the map, so we have the mineralized block model, which is the resource itself, sitting within the red open pits. We see a lot of room to grow this resource very efficiently. Arguably, we can add 50% here just through infill drilling to capture more of those blocks within the open pits. And we ultimately believe that the long-term potential here at Pony Creek is on the order of 1.5, 2 million ounces and beyond. So at Pony Creek, which is that large-scale, at-surface, Carlin-type gold system, the next step here is resource expansion. We're aiming to kick that program off in the second half of this year, focusing on the oxides and focusing on that near-surface mineralization in this rapidly developing district. Just as we come to the end here, looking at our cap structure, we have 301 million shares outstanding today. Current trading range is anywhere from 4 to 5 cents, putting us at 12 to 15 million market cap Canadian. Approximately 2 million in cash on the balance sheet, which does fund those drill programs at both Green Springs and Pony Creek. Analysts who follow us include Brock Coulter-John at Cormark, Geordie Mark at Haywood here in Vancouver, and Tim Lee with Red Cloud. Looking at major shareholders, we have Waterton, which is the large mining-focused private equity group in Toronto, owns approximately a third of the company. Institutional investors, roughly 27%. Retail or unallocated would be another third, and then management and insiders own 7%, and I own approximately 6 million shares of the company. So our focus here is on catalysts, it's on growth, it's on executing at Green Springs, driving that to a high grade, high quality initial resource in central Nevada. It's also about expanding Pony Creek, taking that to a critical threshold of resource growth, and ultimately delivering a standalone project. Nevada remains, and I think as the world becomes more volatile, geopolitical risk goes up, that Nevada will become more and more topical for majors and mid-tier companies looking for stable jurisdiction to execute in, define ounces, and ultimately have very, very profitable businesses. So we're excited. We're very excited to be back drilling next week. We think will be a lot of very positive news to come out of both Contact Gold and Nevada in general, in spite of the market backdrop. And I'd encourage you to follow us either at the website, which is contactgold.com, or all the regular social media channels. Thank you.